Welcome, my dear friends, to the Rapid Roundup session on management of machines and materials. In this session, we will explore a spectrum of topics ranging from production planning and scheduling to the intricacies of supply chain management. That is everything in that thick, big book of yours, MMPC 9. We will unravel the complexities of selecting and optimizing manufacturing processes. We will be diving into the strategic aspects of inventory control and analyze the role of technology in modern machine and material management. Machines and materials are the backbone of any industrial or manufacturing endeavor. You know that, right? So, understanding how to efficiently manage them is definitely something very important for organizers and organizations who are seeking to enhance their productivity, minimize costs, and maintain a very competitive edge in today's dynamic business landscape. Can you think of any industry or even a small starting company that can operate without a computer? A computer is a machine, right? Or at least a mobile phone? No, right? So machines and materials, they are something which is what you can say unavoidable. We cannot do a business without machines or materials. So this course will take you on a journey through all those key facets of this management principle and provide you with a robust foundation and practical insight to excel in this field. So if you are new to this channel, I am Anu, your guide and facilitator for this course. I run this small but growing YouTube channel that is named Anu's Classroom, which is aimed at helping IGNOU students overcome the limitations of distance learning by providing you guys with quality content. And my goal here is just to assist you, not only in passing your exams with good grades, but also helping you understand the concepts thoroughly so that you guys become better managers of tomorrow. So let's embark on this journey together, fueled by curiosity, determination, and a passion for learning. I'm so excited to accompany you on this transformative educational experience, and I'm confident that together we will definitely emerge as savvy decision makers ready to conquer the complexities of the business world. So let me provide you with a preview of what awaits us in this following session. This course is divided into 4 blocks, each offering crucial insights into the management of machines and materials, and it comprises a total of 14 units. This is a rapid roundup session. For all these 14 units, we will be discussing, we'll be touching on all these 14 units. I'll try to cover as much as possible in this rapid roundup session in this very short span of time. But we will definitely, it is not possible to go in depth into any of the topics so much and explain everything that there is in the coursework, which is not possible in this short time frame. But we will definitely be touching upon all the 14 units and most of the important concepts we will be discussing here. That is a assurance from my end. So in the first block, that is operations management, an overview and facilities planning. Right? We will establish a very solid foundation for materials and machine management. We will begin with our first unit, operations management, where we will explore the evolution, functions, and significance of operations management in an organization's success. Following that, in unit 2, that is product selection and process selection, we will guide us through critical decisions concerning product and process selection, emphasizing their interdependencies and the optimization of manufacturing strategies. In Unit 3, Facilities Location, we will be examining the strategic considerations and methodologies for selecting optimal facility locations, considering factors like market dynamics, transportation, cost and all. And in the fourth unit of the first block, that is Facilities Layout and Material Handling, we will be covering facility design, layout and efficient material handling techniques within the production environment. Moving on to the second block, Operation Planning and Control, we will be delving deeper into operational intricacies. The fifth unit, Planning and Control for Mass Production, will focus on maximizing efficiency and productivity in mass production environments. Unit 6 will explore balancing flexibility and efficiency in batch production process. Seventh unit, we will address the challenges and strategies of planning and controlling a job shop production. So these are the 3 different types of production, processes for producing things. And finally, in the 8th unit, planning and control of projects, we will look at the concepts that can help us equip us with project management principles that are essential for managing project timelines, resources, and deliverables effectively. In the third block, capacity planning work and job design and value engineering. This is a very, very, very important block. If you are only studying one block for MMPC 9 and going, right? Which block will I suggest? It is block 3. Never, never, never skip block 3. None of the units. All 3 units of block 3 are important. So if you are just studying one block, study block 3. All these 3 units you must be very well aware of. I cannot stress it enough. It is absolutely important. So here we will be tackling critical aspects of capacity planning, work and job design, and value engineering. The first unit in this particular block, that is unit 9, capacity planning, we will be covering methodologies and considerations for ensuring organizations have the necessary resources to meet the demand effectively. 10th unit, work and job design, we will explore creating efficient and ergonomic work environments to enhance productivity and satisfaction. Lastly, unit 11, value engineering and quality assurance. Again, very important unit. We will emphasize optimizing value and ensuring product and service quality throughout the production process. Finally, we arrive at the fourth block, the last of the 4 blocks. That is materials management, and this block will focus on optimizing material flow and storage. The 12th unit, purchase system and procedure and inventory management, will delve deeper into procurement process and inventory management techniques. 13th unit, standardization, codification and variety reduction, will explore the benefits of standardization and variety reduction, just like the name suggests. And the last unit, waste management, again an important unit, will cover waste management strategies and sustainability practices. I am so thrilled to embark on this journey with you, and I am confident that together we will gain deeper understanding of the concepts of management of materials and machines and be ready to drive success and profitability within our organizations in the future. Before we dive into our discussions and start with the first unit, I kindly ask you to take a moment to ensure that you have subscribed to the channel and enabled notifications. By doing so, definitely you are helping me grow as a channel. You are helping Anu's Classroom grow and reach more audience like you, so that I can help them also. But more importantly, that is not the reason why I ask you to subscribe. That is not the only reason why I ask you to subscribe. The reason I ask you to subscribe and hit that notification icon is so that you will never miss an update from Anu's Classroom. And in this way, you can fully utilize all the resources I provide to support your journey towards earning your postgraduate degree from IGNOU. Feel free to leave your comments, your questions or suggestions below. I'm here to help you out, so don't hesitate to ask anything. But just remember one small request: keep your comments professional, like you would in your future managerial role. That is all I ask. So, welcome you all to the dynamic realm of operations management. This is a very pivotal force driving the success of every organization, and we are starting our journey. Whether manufacturing goods or delivering services, operations management stands as the driving engine that steers our business towards efficiency, productivity, and profitability. You imagine an organization as a colossal system, okay, a big system that is comprised of numerous interconnected subsystems. Like, right, you take any organization or any industry, any company for that matter, okay, a bakery or a retail shop, for instance. There are many things that come into play to bring that service to you or bring that product to you, right? From constantly engaging to transform inputs into value added outputs, there are multiple subsystems involved. So this organizational lens aligns with the systems concept of operations management. At its essence, I can say that operations management revolves around crafting, executing, and enhancing our production systems that are responsible for generating the core products and services of a firm. Got it? Right? So definitely there will be machines, there will be materials that are involved in producing the firm's core product or core services. How can you make it efficient? How can you make most out of your machines or your materials is what operations management is all about. It encompasses the entire spectrum from planning and organizing to controlling the production process, ensuring efficient and effective production of goods as well as services. So the primary goal of why we are learning operations management or why we have to take operations management into consideration is to maximize productivity while minimizing costs. You must understand this. Okay, achieving this, that is maximization of productivity while minimizing cost. How we can achieve this? It involves skillfully managing resources like the labor, your materials, the equipment, and technology to guarantee that they are being used optimally. So, the efficiency of operations profoundly influences the quality as well as profitability of the products or services that are being delivered. While operations management has undergone rapid evolution, you can trace its roots back to concepts like the division of labor by Adam Smith, which was extended later by Charles Babbage and formalized by F.W. Taylor as scientific management. These are not new concepts to you. We have studied it from first semester onwards, starting from MMPC 1 onwards. In MMPC 2 also we have learned all this division of labor, scientific management, all these things we have learned, right? So our operations management is rooted in such principles. It evolved through stages like production management, then it expanded to include service sectors in 1960s, and then adopting a system approach in 1970s. Operations research emerged in the late 1950s and broadened the application of scientific methods to managerial decision making that was beyond manufacturing. Scientific methods have consistently fueled operations management, enhancing organizational efficiency and decision making process. So, definitely, you all know, I don't have to tell you by now, decisions are a cornerstone of any management activity, and it is not any different when it comes to operations. Decisions are a cornerstone for operations management also. And in operations management, you can classify decisions into periodic decisions or continual decisions. Can you take a guess onto what a periodic decision and what a continual decision could be? Please pause the video, take a moment to recollect. I'm sure you will be knowing. Just recollect in your mind what periodic decisions are and what continual decisions are. Once you have recollected, play the video back and see whether it matches your thoughts. So, periodic decisions are those decisions which encompass selecting, designing, and updating resources or structures or systems and procedures periodically. Whereas continual decisions are integral to our day-to-day operations and control, further dividing into planning and design of production systems, operations and control of production systems, and management of materials in production systems. So periodic decisions, just like their name, are taken periodically, whereas continual decisions are taken on day-to-day basis. These are not the only two types of decision making, but these are mostly two important categories of decision making. Then we also have strategic and tactical decisions, which contribute to planning, organizing, directing, and controlling of production systems. So this classification of strategic and tactical decisions is classified by time horizon. So when we are categorizing into periodic and continual, we are talking about how frequently we have to take decisions. Whereas if you classify it based on the time horizon, what is the length of time for which this particular decision is going to come into force, we can talk about it as strategic and tactical decisions, right? Strategic decisions are long-term decisions which have long-term impact for your company, whereas tactical decisions are intermediate terms. Strategic decisions have enduring implications affecting a broader scope, while tactical decisions target specific short-term objectives. Functions of operation management decisions include planning, organizing, directing, and controlling, each contributing to the seamless functioning of production systems. The foundation of operations management lies in managing the flow of materials into, through, and out of the production system. So, why are we having management system? In order to maintain the flow of materials into, through, and out of the production system. Four primary types of production systems based on material flow include mass production, batch production, and job shop production, and unit manufacturing or projects. So these are the four types of production process which we will be talking in detail in our block 2, if you remember, right? As managers, it is very important that we are able to identify the type of system, whether it is batch or job shop or unit manufacturing. What type of production system are we talking about is very crucial for effective planning and control. The way we plan or way we control a mass production system is not same as how we would do it for a unit manufacturing or for projects. Effectively managing the flow of materials through the production system requires a comprehensive approach which is termed as materials management. It encompasses functions supporting the complete material flow cycle from purchase and internal control of work in progress to warehousing, shipping, and distribution of finished products. A well coordinated materials management program can lead to a significant cost reduction of up to 20%. 15 to 20% cost reduction you can hope to achieve if you have a well coordinated materials management program. So the objective of material management, if anybody asks you, I am sure you will be able to write down. It is to maintain a steady flow of materials, adopt cost reduction techniques, and provide the right materials in the right quantity at the right time, and implement scientific inventory control techniques. Material management decisions will include the decision regarding procurement, inventory control, store management, waste management, each of it playing a crucial role in optimizing material flow. Understanding the life cycle of products or systems is therefore very vital, encompassing growth, maturity, saturation, and decline phases. The life cycle concept, which we already have studied earlier also in the first semester, so I am not reiterating it. The life cycle concept extends to life cycle costing, emphasizing examination of long-term cost repercussions rather than short-term costs alone. Generally, when we talk about costs, we are more concerned about the short-term costs. But if you understand this the life cycle of products or systems, then we will be much more equipped to understand the life cycle costing, that is the long-term cost repercussions of our decisions. Scientific management principles, methods, and techniques also can provide a very solid foundation for rational and logical decision making in production as well as operations management. Leveraging tools from industrial engineering, operations research, and behavioral science operations management ensures informed decision making, optimal solutions, and enhanced overall system performance. So this journey into operations management is just the beginning. Okay, this first unit is just the beginning. In the forthcoming discussions, we will delve deeper into each of these concepts that I have been talking to you about the past 15 minutes. We will delve into each of these concepts in detail, ensuring that you have a comprehensive understanding while keeping it concise and engaging. I'll try my best to do that. So stay with me as we explore the intricacies of operations management. I'm hoping that you are not bored, that you are finding this session to be worth your time. That is what matters the most to me, that my videos are worth your time. So now let us take a dive deeper into the process of bringing new products into the market. A journey that is filled with twists, turns, and strategic decision making. So I want you guys to picture yourself at the helm of a company, the CEO, okay, who is navigating through the stages of product development. It might seem a straightforward path from ideation to launch, right? You have an idea, you make a product, then you sell it, right? Cakewalk when you think like that. But in reality, when you look at it closely, if you are the CEO, then you will appreciate how in reality it is a very complex and dynamic process of it is to bring a product into a market. So the journey, definitely, yes, it begins with idea generation, the spark that is going to ignite innovation, make the products of tomorrow, right? Ideas can come from various sources. It could come from market research or maybe brainstorming sessions within the company. Ideas could come from any number of places. But it is about tapping into that creativity and exploring possibilities which makes companies stand out. Once the ideas start flowing, what happens next? Right? Once the ideas start flowing, the next step is screening. Why? Because not every idea will make the cut, and that is okay. Okay? Screening helps filter out the unfeasible or off-target ideas, leaving behind the gems of ideas, idea gems which have potential. If we develop it, if we can further take it up to research and product development and put it into the market, it can, it can mark our presence in the market, or it can change the future, like AirPods, right? Touch screens, something like that, a great idea. When, by the time Apple, or by the time such smartphones or smart TVs, they came to the market, there would have been n number of ideas which were discarded in multiple stages, in various stages of this product development. And that is okay. That is what you have to understand as a manager. But here is where things get interesting. This process is not always linear, right? You might find yourself circling back to earlier stages as new information come into light or as market dynamics shift. For example, economic analysis might need to be revisited if the initial cost estimates prove unreliable while you start making. Development and design are pivotal stages where ideas take shape and transform into tangible products. It is like sculpting a masterpiece, refining and shaping until you achieve perfection. So, here, attention to detail is key. In the development and design stage, your attention to detail is what is the key and what ensures that the product will meet the desired specifications as well as standards. Testing is another crucial phase, which is a litmus test to ensure that the product performs as intended. It is all about putting the product through its paces, identifying any flaws or areas for improvement. This iterative process of testing and refining is essential for delivering a high quality product to the market. Now let us talk about product selection. It is a strategic decision that sets the course for the entire journey. So it is all about choosing the right product in the right form with the right features in the right quantity. And by this decision is informed by market demand, competitive analysis and the organization's capabilities as well as objectives. But product selection is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process. New product ideas are constantly being generated and evaluated, keeping the innovation engine running. And with each new idea comes the potential for new opportunities as well as new challenges. Producibility plays a significant role in product selection. It is all about assessing how easy and efficient is it to produce that particular product which we have chosen. So here factors like specialized equipment, skills, tools required for production are all taken into consideration. A product that is easy to produce will definitely be generally more cost effective and reliable, which is a crucial consideration in today's competitive market. The time to hit market from idea generation to hitting the market is nowadays very short, because the early bird is mostly who catches the worm, right? So once the product is developed and tested, it is time for the grand finale. What is that? Product launch. That is the grand finale. This is where all our hard work is going to pay off as the product makes its debut in the market. So marketing strategies are deployed to create that buzz and generate that excitement, while distribution channels are optimized to ensure widespread availability. Success in the product launch hinges on various factors like product quality, pricing, positioning, and the effectiveness of marketing and distribution strategies. It is a delicate balancing act requiring careful planning and execution to make a lasting impression on customers. So, in conclusion, bringing a new product to market is a very complex and dynamic process which requires creativity, strategic thinking, and meticulous attention to detail. It is a journey that is filled with challenges and opportunities, but by staying innovative, by staying adaptable and customer focused, our companies can navigate through these twists and turns to achieve success. Choosing the perfect location for a facility is like picking the ideal spot for your dream house. But here, when it is for a company, definitely it is going to be on a much larger scale. Like imagine you're searching for the best place to live. Okay, but instead of just considering the neighborhood and commute time, you will also have to factor in things like technology or financial stability, workforce availability, things like that also when you are trying to find a spot for your company. Traditionally, when we talked about facilities, we mainly meant factories or manufacturing plants. However, the concept has evolved in recent times to include a wide range of establishments from hospitals, warehouses to recreation centers and things like that. So, when we talk about facility location decisions now, we are talking about finding the optimal spot for all these different types of places where work gets done. Have you ever seen in recently like ads for apartments, flats? They'll list down how much distance to the nearest airport, how much distance to the nearest school, the nearest police station, the nearest hospital, the nearest, if there is any job hubs, IT hubs and things like that. How close is it? How close is the nearest bus stop, the nearest railway station? All these things are listed down. Why? So that it is all part of marketing. It is all so that the customers can get an idea of how good the facility is, how good the location of that apartment is, right? So here is where it gets tricky though. It is not just about picking any spot that seems convenient or cheap. There is a whole host of factors to consider, both internal and external, when it comes to an organization. What are the internal factors? It could be things like how much money you have to spend or how skilled your workforce is, things like that. Whereas external factors could range from economic conditions to government policies or social factors in the community. Think about it like this. Okay, when you're choosing a place to live, you're not just thinking about the house itself, right? You're considering things like schools nearby, the safety of the neighborhood, and maybe even the weather. Similarly, when choosing a facility location, you have to think about things like market demand, transportation access, and even the local laws and taxes. So, how do you make such a big decision? So that, how to make such a decision, that is a bit of a balancing act. You might have to use techniques like factor ranking. What is factor ranking? Factor ranking is a method where you prioritize different factors based on your importance. If you don't have a kid, consider the apartment case itself. If you have a kid, then how nearest that apartment is to a tuition center or to a school is important. If you have an elderly person with you, then the factor that is going to be most important would be the nearest hospital, distance to the nearest hospital. If most of the people in your home are working people, then maybe the nearest railway station or the nearest bus stop, those kind of things. How easy is it to commute? Those kind of things could be factors which are more important to you. So this is how factor ranking works. You rank various factors depending upon your personal requirement, and you will pick out the best facility location. Or you might want to use factor weight rating system. Here what you will do, you will assign weights to different factors to see which ones carry more weight in the decision making process. It's more or less similar, factor ranking and factor weight, more or less similar method if you are thinking in terms of this apartment analogy. But yeah, so these are the ways in which you make decisions concerning facility location selection. But it is not just about crunching numbers here as well as data. No, sometimes you have to also trust your instincts. That is where qualitative judgment comes in. It is all about using your experience and intuition to make decisions that are not always very easy to quantify. Of course, you also need to back up your gut feelings with hard evidence. That is where tools like location break-even analysis comes in handy. They will help you weigh the cost and benefit of different location options to see which one makes the most financial sense. But here is the thing, even the best models will have their own limitations. Why? Because they are based on certain assumptions which might not always hold true in the real world. So that is why it is important to approach these methods and these techniques with a critical eye and understand their strengths and weaknesses. In the end, choosing the right location for a facility is all about finding that perfect balance between art and science. It is all about considering all the factors which are both tangible and intangible and making the best decision you can with the information you have. And when you get it right, it can set your organization up for success for years and years to come. When it comes to facility layouts, there is a lot to consider. Just like arranging furniture in a room, you want to make sure everything is going to fit together smoothly and efficiently. In the world of facility planning, there are different types of layout problems to tackle depending upon the nature of this facility. For instance, if you are setting up a brand new facility, then you will need a different approach than if you are just making minor tweaks to an existing layout. So the same thing goes for expanding or relocating an existing facility or simply rearranging the current layout to improve efficiency. It is all like solving a puzzle where each piece represents a different aspect of the facility's operations. One crucial aspect to consider when designing layouts is flow patterns. Imagine the layout of a manufacturing plant or a warehouse. The flow of materials and people through the space can greatly impact efficiency. There are a different flow patterns to consider, like the I flow, L flow, or U flow, each suited for different types of facilities and operations. I am not going into these flow patterns in detail because then this discussion is not going to reach anywhere, right? So that is why just I am telling you, just understand there are these different flow patterns to consider. If you want more detail a video on that, just let me know. If time permits, before your term and examinations, if time permits, definitely I'll try to make a different video on that. So researchers in the field of layout planning have developed various techniques to tackle these challenges. From linear programming to queuing theory, these tools help planners optimize layouts for maximum efficiency and productivity. When it comes to the actual layout design, there are several basic types to choose from. Process layouts are best for low volume production and offer flexibility, while product layouts are ideal for high volume standardized production. Fixed procession layouts suit large products like, say, ships or buildings, and combination layouts blend process and product layouts for greater flexibility. Then we have something called as group layouts, which are another option, grouping facilities by function rather than process. So each type has its advantages, and depending upon the nature of the facility and its operations, we choose which is the best for us. When designing layouts also, there are many factors to consider, ranging from material and manpower to space and flexibility. It is a balancing act, once again, where planners must weigh various considerations to meet overall objectives. The layout design process typically involves 4 phases: location, general layout, detailed layout, and installation. Each phase requires careful planning and consideration to ensure a smooth and efficient layout design. Computerized techniques have revolutionized layout planning, allowing planners to quickly generate and evaluate alternate layouts. Tools like Corelap, and ALDEP, have helped streamline the process and save time and effort. Materials handling is another critical aspect of facility design. So choosing the right equipment, like maybe conveyors or cranes, for our particular situation, our particular organization, the kind of materials we are handling, can all greatly impact efficiency and productivity. Then there is the new buzzword in the town, automation. That also plays a significant role here, streamlining processes and reducing the need for manual labor. So in summary, designing facility layouts is definitely a complex process, but it is also an essential process. And by carefully considering factors like flow patterns or layout types and material handling systems, planners can create layouts which optimize efficiency, productivity, and overall success. Mass production stands as the heavyweight champion of manufacturing, embodying efficiency and cost effectiveness in the realm of production. Imagine an assembly line that it as similar to a well-oiled machine. Okay, so if it is a well-oiled machine, what happens? It will work very smoothly, right? So mass production, I want you to so mass production is characterized by something called as this assembly line, right? You might have seen that also, where workers stand in a line one by one. They do one certain things by, like, the first person will put something in the box, the second person will close the box, the third person will tape the box, the fourth person will label the box, like that. You've seen, right? That is assembly line. By the time the fourth person is done, you will have a finished product. So that one person is only doing that one particular job. The products will be coming in that line, in a line, and each person, as it passes each person, one things will get done, right? So that is an assembly line. It is similar to a very well-oiled machine, you can say, where each worker is assigned a specific task and product will glide seamlessly from one station to next. Like, you can say it with clockwork precision. Now take this concept a step further. Okay, then you will have flow production, which is an elevated version of this production system, where products will be moving continuously through the production process with minimal downtime. So this streamlined approach will result in shorter production times per unit and reduced material handling, making it an epitome of efficiency for very high volume but low variety production scenarios. This is very important. Very high volume but very much low variety. One mass production system will only be producing one type of product, not many different products. So that is the point here. High volume, low variety. The benefits of mass and flow production are undeniable, definitely. Lower costs per unit, heightened productivity, unparalleled capacity to churn out vast quantities of standardized products. But like any manufacturing method, for all this benefits, we have had to make certain trade-offs. What are they? It is an inflexible approach. The approach of mass production or flow production is somewhat inflexible. It necessitates substantial capital investment and moreover maintain consistent quality amidst such high volume is actually something with its own set of challenges, right? So the decision between mass and flow production actually hinges on various factors like production quantity, product variety, cost considerations and such. If the goal is to produce large volumes of identical products without frequent design alterations, then it is best we go with mass production. Large volume of identical products without frequent design alterations. Again, an important concept here. Then we have to go with mass production. Assembly lines and fabrication lines, though they are similar, have distinct characteristics. Assembly lines specialize in putting components together with workstations arranged sequentially along a conveyor belt. Conversely, if you talk about fabrications line, that is of our flow production, they focus on operations which alter the physical or chemical attributes of a product, such as machining or heat treatment. While both are essential, fabrication lines are typically involving tighter precedence restrictions and they necessitate meticulous balance. But for those who are seeking to infuse flexibility into their mass production endeavors, modular production and group technology offer invaluable solutions. Modular production revolves around designing minimal number of parts or operations which can be combined in various permutations to create diverse products, just like Lego. How many different pieces of Legos can you find? One rectangle, one square, maybe one rectangle is a short rectangle, the other is with a little bit long rectangle, maybe one is having a wheel. 5, 6 maximum that is which you can count with your fingers, right? Only those many varieties are there. But with that variety, how many different combination of things can we build, right? That is modular production. Okay, with minimal number of parts that are going to be combined in various permutations, we will be able to create diverse products. Then the other one is group technology, which on the other hand will cluster similar parts into groups and streamline the production process and enhance cost effectiveness. So enter automation and robotics, right? The undisputed superheroes of mass production. By automating tasks like, say, material handling or machine operations, these technologies not only slash labor costs, but they also elevate productivity to unprecedented levels. Industrial robots are similar to the Swiss Army knives of manufacturing. How so? By exhibiting remarkable versatility and are capable of executing a variety of tasks with precision and speed. So, in essence, mass and flow production are epitomizes the powerhouses of manufacturing. They are adept at producing vast quantities of products with unparalleled efficiency and are armed with cutting-edge tools and techniques such as automation and group technology, and with these the mass production and flow production methods ensure seamless functioning of industrial processes, propelling the wheels of our industry forward with unwavering momentum, right? Coming to batch production. Batch production is again a fundamental concept in manufacturing operations that MBA students should definitely understand, especially if you aspire to work in supply chain management or operations role. So if your specialization is operations management, then I do not have to say once again why MMPC 9 is like your first step into learning, right? Why? Because at its core, batch production involves producing a specific quantity of a product at one time rather than continuously. So it is like a mid place between your mass production and unit production. Unit production is individualized, project-wise things. So it is like a good trade-off. Here you prepare the same thing in batches, that is few number, not just one, maybe you will produce 10 or 20 of the same thing at once, and then you will shift to something else, and then that new thing you will produce 10 or 20 and then you will shift to something else, like that is batch production. Cakes, biscuits, they're all produced in batches. Pickles, right? So this approach is commonly used when the demand for a product varies and does not justify continuous production, but still requires a certain level of output to meet consumer needs. Consider a scenario where you are managing a manufacturing plant which produces smartphones. Okay, so while demand for your latest model remains steady, there is also a need to produce smaller quantities of previous models to fulfill the niche market demands or replace the defective units. So batch production will allow you to efficiently switch between the different models without committing to any continuous production runs. But one of the key challenges in this batch production is determining the optimal batch size. This involves striking a balance between setup costs and inventory carrying costs. Think of it as deciding how many units of each smartphone model you have to produce in one batch to minimize costs while you meet the demand. Aggregate production planning is another critical aspect of batch production. It involves forecasting demand and allocating resources like labor and machinery to meet production requirements over a specific time frame. Imagine you're tasked with planning production for the next quarter for your organization. Then you will need to consider factors like seasonal demand trends, production capacity, resource availability, and things like that to develop a viable plan. And once you have an aggregate plan in place, then you will need to disaggregate it and create a detailed master production schedule. So this schedule will outline when each batch of products will be produced to meet the customer orders while optimizing resource utilization. It is similar to creating a production roadmap which guides the day-to-day operations in the factory. The line of balance, that is LOB. It is also another valuable tool for monitoring and controlling production in batch manufacturing environments. How so? It does it. Why it becomes a valuable tool is because it will help us managers identify if there are any bottlenecks and also helps us in tracking the progress and ensuring that production actually stays on the schedule that we have earlier decided upon. So, for an MBA student like us, understanding how to use tools like this LOB, line of balance, can actually provide insights into effective production management strategies. Then comes the material requirements planning, okay, MRP. Don't confuse it with the maximum retail price that we are so familiar with, okay. MRP in our syllabus, in our course, is material requirements planning. Okay, I hope you guys will keep that in mind, keep that difference in mind. If you see this MRP, depending upon the context, there is a high chance that in our examination paper it means material requirements planning. This is another essential concept in batch production. What happens in material requirements planning? As the name suggests, we are going to plan for our material requirements. What all materials we will need at what all time, when we have to get them. All those kind of things will come under material requirements planning. So it involves planning and scheduling the material requirements that are needed for production based on the master production schedule, the main production schedule. And as MBA students, we should actually grasp how this MRP system work in order to ensure that the right materials are always available at the right time to support our production operations. Finally, we will talk about Kanban, concept like Kanban, and flexible manufacturing system, FMS, flexible manufacturing system. So this Kanban and flexible manufacturing system, these are concepts which again plays a very crucial role in optimizing our batch production process. The Kanban system, for those of you who are familiar with the agile sprint methodology and all, might have heard this term Kanban. Right? So the Kanban system actually helps manage inventory levels and streamline our production flow. Whereas when you talk about the flexible manufacturing system, FMS, it enables flexibility and adaptability in manufacturing operations. So in summary, batch production, we were talking about batch production, right? We talked about the mass production. Now we were talking about batch production. So in summary, batch production is, you can say, a foundational concept in manufacturing operations that we have to understand thoroughly. And by mastering concepts like batch sizing or aggregate production planning and production scheduling, we can develop the skills that are needed to excel in roles that are related to supply chain management and operations management if we are dealing with an organization which goes for batch production. So, so far we saw two systems of production, mass production and batch production. We have two more, right? Unit and job shop production. So now let us talk about job shop production. So, delving deeper into this realm of job production actually unveils a very dynamic landscape which is complete with intricacies which demand our absolute attention. And unlike the batch production counterpart that we saw earlier, or the mass production we saw earlier, where homogeneous items were churned out in what you can say sizable numbers, this job shop production or job production actually brings in a much more versatility. So the least, if you have to rank our production systems from the least versatile to the most versatile, you can say mass production is the least versatile. We'll be churning out exactly same thing over and over and over again and again, right? Whereas when it comes to batch production, we had much little bit more flexibility than batch mass production, but the highest level of versatility is always in unit production. Job shop production comes a little lower than that, but more versatility when you compare to batch production. Job production helps or allows us to craft a diverse array of items but in limited quantities. That is the important part here. Okay, we can what you can say produce a lot of diverse products, but those products will be produced in limited quantities, often within constrained facilities. So this paradigm shift from batch production to job shop production actually mandates a unique approach for each task. Why? Because every job presents unique processing requirements, and therefore we have to navigate that each requirement by its own, right? So within this job shop environment, us managers will have to confront to many challenges stemming from this what you can say this unique nature or this flexible nature of tasks and the constricted resources that we have at our disposal. So what you can say how do we sequence these jobs in a job shop, right? That is the important question. So when we have to think about sequencing jobs in this job shop production, the main challenge that we have to face here is the variety of tasks and limited resources, right? There are complicated material flows, right? Large in-process inventories, unpredictable operational issues, all these things are there. So how do we sequence the jobs? There are many ways in which a manager can choose to sequence various jobs and scheduling techniques so as to ensure smooth operations when we are dealing with job shop production. So let us look at some of the ways here, right? Simply like I'll try to explain to you in simple terms what these kinds of various types of sequencing methods or techniques are. So let's assume that your job shop is only having one machine, right? So in that case, one way to sequence our jobs in such a job shop which only has one machine is to find the best order that is possible to minimize the total completion time, right? So although there is no perfect solution here, managers can use heuristic techniques or priority rules. Like for example, whichever comes first will be served first come first serve basis to process jobs in the order that they arrive. Or you can think of shortest processing time, SPT, rule prioritization. So what happens in this shortest processing time? The quickest tasks are taken up to increase efficiency. So if you think about it in detail, you will find these what you can say techniques in practice also in our daily life, right? You go to a small shop, okay, and you give them a list of 10 items to take, okay, and if there is only one person, it recently happened with me also. I went to a shop, okay, and I had a list of things to purchase. Usually there used to be two people in that shop, but on the day which I went, only one person was there. The other person took a leave or something like that. So only one person was there, and so she was taking the items that I had requested her for. There were around 10 plus items were there. So in between, at least by the time she finished billing my order, at least 5 people would have come asking for one or two things, and she would have and she used to tell me, see, anyway your list is this long, it's going to take time, so can I can I process their orders first? And at least 5 people had come and gone by the time I got my order, and they all maybe were requesting one item or two items. So in the mind of the shopkeeper, what would have happened? I thought. So usually when such things happen, I actually used to get so frustrated. But somehow I think maybe since I was in plans for this particular lesson, this thing came to my mind. This shortest processing time. So I started observing that person, what that person, the shopkeeper, must be doing. See, when one person comes with just one thing to do, to take, if they have to be kept waiting for the all the 10 things of mine to complete, then that person is sure to go to another shop, and that will definitely get a that might even mean a lost customer for them. But without much significant effect in my processing time, maybe she would have been able to complete that order, which in effect actually secures her two customers, right? Me, anyway, since I'm standing, and the other person. So that I don't get pissed off, they were saying some sweet words, see, you please wait, or this and that and all, so that I am also not pissed off, right? But then at the end, finally, I did get all the things that I wanted, and I came back. But yeah, so this shortest processing time rule, that is something that our managers, as managers, we can take if there is only one machine. So in this case, in our real life example, the machine, it was not a machine, it was a person. But see, this is how these management principles come into action. That person may not have studied MBA. Definitely, I'm sure that person is not an MBA graduate. But if you observe closely, you must understand this. Whatever we are studying in the name of MBA is not some new science or some new found language, or something which is beyond human scope, or something which no human has ever attempted without an MBA. It is all what we usually do in our day to day life, just accumulated into a book and told to you. That is all what MBA is. Therefore, whenever you study any subject, especially for MBA, you must approach it from a practical standpoint, and you will be amazed to see how many of the concepts, maybe even 75% of the concepts that you are studying for MBA, you might already be applying in your day to day life. You might not know what this thing is called, or you might not know which Englishman told the world about this particular thing in which year. Those things you might not know, but you will realize that these are things that we already are doing, which is there with us, which is there in our human nature, in our brain, how we process things, just being written down. Okay, so in case you are wondering, or in case, especially since this book itself is very huge and scary looking, please don't think that it is a Bali Keramala, right? Something which even Bali can't conquer. No, it is not like that. It is simple. Just put your mind to it and try to see the crucial part of it, the crux of it, and you will realize that these are things that you already know, which you are already doing, but being told in a fancy way. That is all, right? So anyway, let us not waste our time. Anyway, this session is quite long. The book is very long. Enough with my story and all. So let us come to the next type of sequencing. Suppose, say, in our job shop, instead of one machine, if there are two machines, then there is something called as Johnson's algorithm, which helps to reduce the total completion time. How does this Johnson algorithm work is by organizing job sequences based on the shortest processing time for each machine. So this method helps managers create precise schedules and improve the productivity. Then we also can take the help of graphical methods for minimizing the completion time, especially for if we have to do two jobs on multiple machines. Then by using a two-dimensional graph, we managers can find the best sequence and adjust the schedules to optimize the performance. The choice of sequencing techniques and rules definitely would be depending on the job shop's main goals. That is, whether the goal of the job shop is to to reduce the total completion time, or decrease the lateness, or use the resources efficiently, or align with the strategies, or whatever it is. The technique that we must be selecting should align with the goals. That is very important. Like, for example, if you are concerned about minimizing the lateness, then priority rules focused on this should be used. So you can say, in summary, by understanding job shop production and mastering the sequencing and scheduling techniques, which is most important, operations managers like us can effectively manage manufacturing operations. And applying these methods will help organizations achieve operational excellence and gain a competitive advantage, or a competitive edge, in a changing market. Understanding project management. Okay, which is the last type of production. Understanding this project management is similar to deciphering the intricate web of relationships that are woven amongst the various project activities, which is a skill that is indispensable for steering any endeavor towards successful fruition. Most often, like, we would all be working in this project related areas, because nowadays everybody is behind customizations rather than mass produced stuff. Mostly everybody is looking for some form of customization. How can we differentiate ourselves from our neighbors is what is the driving force behind any kind of purchase these days, right? So understanding what this unit production or this project production system is very important, as well as how we can make it perfect or how we can do it with utmost perfection. So at its essence, project management actually entails unraveling all the interdependencies which bind all the various tasks within the project, which is a feat that is essential for orchestrating seamless planning and execution. In order to help you understand how these various project activities are connected, let me try giving you an example. Okay, so imagine you are making tea and snacks. Both tea and snacks will need a gas stove to make, right? But can you serve the snacks until the tea is made? Can you? I mean, technically you can, but that is not the culturally appropriate thing to do, right? Especially at least in India. So this shows a dependency where one task will have to finish before another can start. Such dependencies are what is key to project management and are shown through project networks. What are project networks? Project networks are diagrams which display task dependencies using arrows. I'm sure you have created, or you have at least attempted creating PERT and CPM graphs, right? Something similar to that, project networks. Each task is an arrow and nodes mark the start and end of a task. And by mapping these relationships, project managers see the task sequence and identify the critical paths, the series of tasks that determine the project's overall duration. So it is with this understanding that project managers use various time management techniques. Like for tasks which have fixed durations, we can use the critical path method, and which helps calculate the earliest and latest start times for tasks, identifies the critical tasks, and manages the slack time for efficient oversight. I am not going in detail into the critical path method. You have already studied it in your first semester, but in case you forgot or in case you are having doubts, definitely do check it out. Okay, so when the task durations are uncertain, then what we will do? Okay, if it is fixed, then we can use the critical path method. But what if it is uncertain? That is when program evaluation and review technique, PERT, is used. PERT uses probabilistic estimates to determine the expected project duration and variability, thus helping managers handle uncertainties and make informed decisions about project timelines. Project management also involves managing costs and resources wisely. Project crashing is a technique to shorten the project duration by adding resources to the critical task. Okay, project crashing. Okay, you're crashing the project. You're not destroying the project. It is not that kind of a crash, but rather crushing, you can think, right? You are shortening. Here, project crashing is you're crushing the time. Okay, you're crushing the activities. You're trying to reduce the time gap. So while this can speed up completion, you must realize that this project crashing has an effect on the cost. It is going to increase the cost. Therefore, you have to carefully balance between time and resources. In summary, effective project management relies on understanding task dependencies and using appropriate methods for managing time and resources. And by using tools like CPM or PERT and project crashing, project managers can streamline processes, reduce the risks, and ensure successful project completion, demonstrating the essence of good project managers or good project management. So now we are starting the third block, okay, the most important block. So please pay utmost attention here. I'll try my best to cover as many concepts as possible, but it is not possible for 100% coverage, but I'll try my best. Okay, so what is capacity planning? Capacity planning is like the strategic chess game of organizational management, you can say. It is particularly important in domains of production as well as service provisioning. Capacity planning. Why? Because at its essence, capacity. What is capacity? It denotes the maximum output a productive unit can churn out within a specified time frame. If whether it is services, there is a there is a maximum output somebody can give out, right? A machine or a person can churn out in a specified time frame. That is their capacity. So this facet of operations management is definitely indispensable for meeting our customers' demands and optimizing the resource utilization and ensuring operational efficiency. So the crux of capacity lies in its weakest link principle, which dictates that the overall capability of a system is always constrained by its most limiting component, right? Suppose, say, you have a bakery. Okay, maybe you have amazing bakers who can create what you can say within 1 hour. 1 hour they can pipe 1,000 cupcakes. Okay, they can create the mixture and pipe 1,000 cupcakes. Doesn't matter. But you have only one oven which can take a maximum of 100, bake a maximum of 100 cupcakes in 1 hour. So what is your capacity? Is your capacity 1,000 because your the baker that you have employed can pipe 1,000 bags or 1,000 cupcakes? Is your capacity 1,000? No, your capacity is just 100, right? Why? Because your oven can only bake 100 cupcakes in an hour. So out of the baker and the oven has the least capacity. Now consider you have an oven which can bake 100 cakes in an hour, but your baker can only get 50 going into the oven every hour. Then what will happen? Then your capacity is 100 or 50? It is 50. Why? Because the least of the two is what defines your overall actual capacity. Because if there is a bottleneck, it is going to affect the whole system. Okay, so that is why capacity planning becomes utmost important, right? So capacity you can say as, or you can quantify it as the output per unit of time for systems that are generating homogeneous outputs, or by assessing the availability of the limiting resource for systems which yield non-homogeneous outputs. So for instance, in a manufacturing plant that produces cars, if the painting booth can only accommodate a certain number of cars per hour, then regardless of the pace of the assembly line process, the painting booth is becoming a bottleneck and it will determine the overall capacity of the plant. I hope you are clear with this capacity, right? And this weakest link principle. It's very important, okay? So capacity planning is a systematic endeavor that is aimed at identifying and addressing both the current as well as the future capacity needs. And this multifaceted process begins with a comprehensive assessment of the organizational landscape, including factors like technological advancements, competitive dynamics, and market trends. By scrutinizing these variables, organizations can anticipate future demands and tailor their capacity accordingly. One pivotal aspect of this capacity planning is the development of alternate capacity plans, right? Providing if you have alternate capacity plans, then what will happen? Your organizations will have a strategic flexibility to align that available capacity with the projected requirements. And these capacity plans will go into detail into considerations like cost volume relationships, economies of scale, timing, and magnitude of capacity expansions. Like for instance, a hotel chain may contemplate adding new wings to its properties to accommodate anticipated increases in demand during the peak tourist seasons. Economic analysis forms the backbone for evaluating these alternate capacity plans, and it involves a rigorous assessment of the costs as well as the benefits that are associated with each option. Techniques like discounted cash flow analysis are commonly employed to compare the financial implications of the different capacity scenarios. However, predicting this capacity requirement is often fraught with uncertainty. Okay, it is often fraught as in filled, okay, or likely to result in. That is the meaning of fraught. I hope if you are not aware of this word, I hope you got a new word also, FRAUGHT, fraught, filled with, swarming with, right? You can full of, another word for full of. Okay, is full of uncertainty, particularly in service-oriented industries where demand growth can be unpredictable. Service providers usually grapple with unique challenges in capacity planning, necessitating consideration of factors like, for service providers, factors would be physical space, equipment's availability, staffing levels. Flexible strategies will have to be employed here, such as overtime utilization or additional shifts or subcontracting. Okay, such things might have to be employed to manage the demand fluctuations effectively. Like for instance, you take the example of a call center, then during peak hours, they may have to ramp up its staffing levels to handle the increased customer inquiries. Strategic analysis of alternate capacity plans will require a nuanced blend of quantitative as well as qualitative approaches. While quantitative methods assess the direct economic ramifications of different options, the qualitative analysis delves into strategic implications like market positioning, competitive advantage, and things like that. So, in essence, you can say capacity planning decisions actually entail a delicate balance between the economic feasibility and strategic foresight, thus necessitating meticulous analysis as well as informed decision making. So, in short, you can say capacity planning, it embodies a multifaceted endeavor that encompasses demand assessment, strategic planning, economic analysis. By adaptly managing our capacity, organizations can optimize our resource utilization, at the same time meet our customers' expectations and stay ahead of the curve in our dynamic market environment. Studying work design holds significance for various reasons and objectives for us. And all of these are aimed at improving the organization's effectiveness as well as enhancing the well being of our employees. Work design encompasses the systematic investigation and design of management or work systems across diverse organizational settings. So, the objectives of work design can be said as to increase productivity, develop our manpower's effectiveness, enhance the dignity of the humans who are working with us with proper work design, and improve the overall quality of life for our employees. So, a key aspect of this work design is the scientific and systematic approach that we take for or towards solving of the problems or the tasks, which is nothing but the work. And incorporating methods like method studies or time studies, these are things which we have already studied in our first semester. You remember the Thurbling analysis and all? Yeah, so those kind of methods and work sampling. So these techniques are utilized with confidence to optimize the work process and achieve our goals. Moreover, work design recognizes the intrinsic value of individuals within the system and emphasizes their abilities and talents as integral to the design process. The need for such an integrated approach to work design comes from the dynamic nature of work systems, which can exist in various states, including design or betterment and improvement. So, this holistic approach, this 360-degree approach, ensures that all aspects of the work are considered and particular attention will be given to the role of people at all levels who are doing work. And by integrating such diverse methodologies and considering factors that are beyond mere technicalities, work design aims to create the optimal work environment that is tailored for our organization's needs. Work study, including method study and work measurement, serves as a very crucial tool for achieving the objectives of our work design. It involves a systematic examination of human work to identify factors that affect the efficiency and economy, leading to targeted improvements in production parameters like manpower, machinery, and methods. Method study in particular aims to reveal and analyze all pertinent facts, ultimately optimizing resource utilization and identifying bottleneck activities. In the realm of work study, techniques like time study and work sampling play a significant role in improving production effectiveness. Time study enables precise determination of the task durations, whereas work sampling offers a more economical and comprehensive approach to measuring worker as well as equipment's utilization. So, time study, you are determining the time taken for each task, whereas work sampling, you are measuring the workers or the equipment's utilization. And conducting such studies with confidence requires adherence to established principles and standards, ensuring that the reliability and validity of findings are maintained. Job design, which is closely related to work design, focuses on structuring individual or teamwork efforts within organizations. So, it addresses various job related questions and aims to create roles which meet organizational requirements while considering employees' personal needs as well as capabilities. By integrating ergonomic and human engineering principles, job design endeavors to create a very safe, comfortable, and efficient work environment, thereby enhancing productivity as well as employee satisfaction. The socio-technical approach that we take towards this job design recognizes the interplay between technological as well as social factors in shaping our work environments. And by integrating both aspects, our organizations can optimize productivity while at the same time promoting employee well-being as well as job satisfaction. And this approach actually emphasizes the importance of considering a broader social consequence of work design decisions, ensuring that there is an alignment of employee needs with the organization's goals, because only if it is aligned, only if the organization's goal aligns with the employee's needs, can you hope to get 100% dedication from the employee towards the work, right? So in conclusion, we can say that the study of work design actually includes or encompasses diverse methodologies and objectives that are mainly aimed at optimizing the organization's effectiveness and enhancing our employees' well-being. And by adopting a systematic, scientific, and integrated approach, organizations can create work environments that not only maximize productivity but also promote human dignity and improve the quality of life for employees, which is as important as increasing our productivity. So, value engineering, or you can say value analysis. When you hear that word, what comes into your mind? If it is mainly all this management of machines and materials, we are all talking about how we can manage costs, right? So, increasing the value, one of the aspect is reducing the cost. So, is value engineering just about cutting costs, and is that all it is? No. It is not just about cutting costs, though cutting costs will come as a natural outcome here. But value engineering or value analysis is more or less a systematic and organized approach for enhancing performance at the same time reducing expenses. So we are not just cutting costs with value engineering. Even though cost is reduced, we are trying to get the maximum productivity also on the other side. So it is a win-win situation for us. Cost is also reduced, productivity or performance is also increased. So these terms, value engineering or value analysis, are often used interchangeably alongside other terms like value assurance or value management. So what is the core objective of this value engineering, value analysis, or whatever way you decide to call it? What is the core objective here? Right? The core objective is achieving equivalent or superior performance at a lower cost, all while maintaining the functionality and quality. We do not want to reduce the quality while we are improving the performance or lowering the cost, right? We want the functionality and quality maintained while we reduce the cost and improve the performance. So picture this scenario, okay? World War II. We all know it was a very, very difficult period, right? Materials were scarce. It is at that time where L.D. Miles, maybe you have heard this name, if not, at least you would have heard of General Electric Company, right? He enters the scene with a mission to identify substitute materials without compromising quality. So, Miles, he pioneers what we know today as value analysis. By assembling teams to scrutinize product functions, what they do is they creatively tweak designs so as to slash costs without sacrificing the utility or the quality. And this is what marked the formal birth of value engineering. Value and cost aren't synonymous. Value reflects the utility or the worth of a product or a service, while cost represents the resources that are needed to produce said product or service or to obtain it. So, how do we improve this value? By reducing costs while maintaining or even enhancing the performance. That is how we are going to improve value. So you can think of value as encompassing the use, the esteem, the cost and exchange values, which each contribute to the overall worth of a product or a service. So the automotive industry, you can say, as a prime example of this. Consider the intricate design of our car seats, right? Engineers may explore alternative materials or manufacturing processes to cut costs without compromising on the comfort or the safety. It is all about finding that sweet spot where efficiency meets excellence. Construction projects also offer another arena for this value engineering or value analysis application. Imagine optimizing the selection and use of building materials. right, to achieve cost savings without compromising the structural integrity or the aesthetics. So again, it becomes about making smart choices which will deliver lasting value at a reduced cost. In manufacturing also, there are benefits from this value engineering or value analysis principles. Like take electronics manufacturing for instance. By streamlining the assembly process and exploring automation technologies, manufacturers can boost the efficiency at the same time trim the costs while maintaining the product quality. uh, Healthcare, another example, redesigning of medical devices to optimize healthcare delivery process. There is ample opportunity there to enhance the value at the same time reduce the cost. So the value engineering job plan is what serves as a roadmap for this value engineering and value analysis initiatives. It encompasses phases like information gathering, function analysis, creativity, evaluation, investigation, creation, recommendation, all these things. Each phase of this value engineering job plan employs specific techniques to dissect products or systems and identify the inefficiencies there and propose solutions that could deliver the maximum value. However, value engineering is not with its challenges, without challenges. There are challenges. So, what are the challenges that you can think about? Resistance to change. That is one of the major challenges in every process, right? Resistance to change, conservatism, time constraints, all these things could hinder our value engineering process. So addressing organizational and behavior aspects early on is very crucial for our value analysis or value engineering process to be successful. And by fostering collaboration and providing adequate resources, our teams can overcome obstacles and drive meaningful cost reductions without sacrificing the quality or the performance. So ultimately, we can say value engineering is not just about a cost cutting exercise, but rather it is all about optimizing value. By embracing creativity, by embracing collaboration through continuous improvement, organizations can unlock this untapped potential and deliver products or services which would exceed expectations of their customers. So it is not just about building better products, but it is also about building a better future. Okay. I hope the concept of value engineering and value analysis, quality control, all these things are clear to you. Let us move on to the next topic. So purchasing, inventory management. These are like the behind the scenes heroes for any organization, you can say. While they may not always be in the spotlight, the efficient functioning of purchasing and inventory logistics department is very crucial for the smooth operation of businesses, whether it be big business or a small business. And in today's fast paced world, the art of purchasing has evolved into a science of its own. It is not just about buying stuff anymore. It is also about making informed decisions which strike that perfect balance between the cost, quality, and timelines. And this is where professionalism in purchasing comes into play. Professionals in this field of purchasing have to be adept at navigating the fluctuating market conditions, understanding the intricacies of the legalities and management policies, and anticipating changes in supply as well as demand. But it is not just about crunching the numbers again and just analyzing data. No, it is not that. Purchasing is also about fostering strong relationships with the suppliers, ensuring there is reliability, creating a goodwill for the organization. So it is a very delicate dance of negotiation, of coordination, as well as strategic planning. The scope and objectives of this purchase department is very vast. What all does it encompass? From integrating the needs of various departments to avoiding any kind of duplication or waste, the purchasing team of any organization has its work actually cut out for them, right? They are responsible for everything from defining the purchase procedures to evaluating suppliers and designing organizational structures. The evaluation here is a very key aspect of our purchasing management. It is not enough that you just make purchases. You need to measure the effectiveness of the purchases that you are making. And this involves assessing the cost, the quality, the quantity, and supplier performance. Reports like vendor performance, consumption patterns, all these things help keep track of the departmental performance and make informed decisions. Vendor evaluation is again another critical component of purchasing management. It is not just about choosing the cheapest option, but rather it is also about finding reliable partners who can meet your organization's needs. So factors like reliability, the technical capabilities, competitive strength, all these things will come into play here. And when it comes to organizing the purchasing department, again, there are various approaches that you can take, whether it is organizing by function, product, location, or stage of manufacturing. The goal is the same. What is the goal? To streamline the process, facilitate clear communication as well as decision making. And let's not forget the role of technology here. In modern purchasing and inventory management, technology is something that you cannot live without, right? Computers have revolutionized the way we handle our inventory, so, say from maintaining the records to generating reports or facilitating communication among departments. Everything is done via computers nowadays. And with the right technology in place, we can automate all the mundane tasks, reduce errors, as well as improve the efficiency. What is inventory management? Inventory management, you can think of it as another beast only altogether. It is not just about keeping stuff in stock. Inventory management, the first thing that comes into our mind is keeping stuff in stock, but it is not so. It is also about finding the right balance between having enough inventory to meet your demand, at the same time minimize excess stock. So techniques like economic order quantity, EOQ model, sensitivity analysis, all these things will help in determining the optimal inventory level and assessing the impact of parameter variations. Safety stock, reorder points, all these things are crucial concepts in inventory management. Safety stock helps mitigate the risk of stock outs, while the reorder point is what determines when to place new orders. So getting these numbers right is again essential for ensuring a smooth flow of materials and avoiding costly disruptions. And let's not forget about the slow moving items. These are the unsung heroes of the inventory world. The things that don't go or move as fast. You know about FMCG goods, right? Fast moving consumer goods. Those are goods which move fast. The opposite is also there, the slow moving items. While they may not move as quickly as the counterparts, the FMCGs, they still play a vital role in keeping our operations running smoothly. So managing these items, these slow moving items, require a different approach, one which involves maintaining adequate safety stock and implementing efficient inventory policies. So in conclusion, this purchase and inventory management may not always be the most glamorous aspect of a business, but they are certainly amongst the most important. And from ensuring timely supply of materials to optimizing cost to fostering strong supplier relationships, the role of purchasing and inventory management cannot be overstated also. And with the right tools, the techniques and strategies in place, our organizations, that is us in the future, we can ensure that their purchasing and inventory management practices are as efficient and as effective as possible. Materials management. This is yet another crucial aspect, though complex, of organizational operations. And at the heart of effective materials management lies three key processes actually. What are those three key processes? Classification, codification, standardization. These are the three key processes that you must know when it comes to material management. What is classification? Classification is the process of grouping materials. When we say we are classifying things into different categories, what we mean is actually we are grouping, right? So in the realm of material management, classification means grouping materials based on their similarities and their affinities. And by categorizing these materials into such logical groups, organizations can streamline the planning and coordination efforts. So you can imagine trying to manage a warehouse without clear categories. Can you imagine? When you imagine itself, it is a chaos, right? So classification helps prevent such chaos by providing a structured framework for organizing materials. And codification takes classification one more step further by assigning a unique code to each of them. And this code is what serves as a digital fingerprint also. And this will facilitate easy identification, location, and processing of these transactions. So you can think of it as the barcode on a product in a supermarket. It enables quick and accurate tracking of items throughout their life cycle. Without a codification, organizations would actually struggle to manage this vast array of materials that they deal with on a daily basis, right? Even in our homes, if it is codified, it is very easy, right? Like I keep labels on everything. Every jar I keep labels. This is coriander, this is chili, this is atta, this is maida, this is gram flour, right? Then it becomes easy. And I know, and there are cupboards for everything. Like all the breakfast materials are in one place, all the masalas in another place, right? If any of you are not aware of it, go to your kitchen. That is the first place or the best place to see your inventory codified, right? The people using the kitchen will know where is what. But if you are new and if there are labels, labels are the codes. Categorize, if where what is kept is known is what is classification. And if there is a label on top of each cupboard or each bottle, then that is codification. Standardization, that is the third key concept, right? Standardization, that is on the other hand involves establishing uniform procedures, forms or specifications for materials. You might have heard, right? If mom wants something bought into the kitchen, then dad will say, or you will say, okay ma, give me a list, right? So that is a form which will help you buy things what is needed, right? So it is all about reducing the unnecessary variety and striving for consistency and efficiency. Standardization simplifies the process. It reduces the cost, improves the overall effectiveness. Imagine if every department in an organization used a different form for the same task. Then it is going to be difficult, right? But if it is standardized, standardization eliminates such inefficiencies by ensuring everyone follows the same set of rules. Imagine your mom giving you 3 bills or 3 lists. You will say, ma, please make it into a one single list, or at least you will staple and go. Otherwise, it is going to be a mess, right? So together, this classification, the codification and standardization, these three things form the backbone for effective materials management. So they facilitate efficient recording, accounting and stock control, reliable pricing and valuation of materials. And by minimizing mistakes and streamlining this process, it saves time, energy and allows organizations to focus on their core objectives. Standardization plays a particularly crucial role in this variety reduction aspect. How? And this variety reduction, that is trying to reduce the number of different varieties of the same thing happening or being stored. Like there is double horse rava, there is Brahman's rava, then there is Ponkadir rava, all roasted ravas. Why do you need? Just stick with one brand, right? So that is variety reduction. That is just for your easy understanding I am saying. So by standardizing procedures and specifications, organizations can minimize the number of varieties which they deal with, reduce the cost and simplify operations. Standardization leads to better delivery, less stock and fewer obsolete items, resulting in significant savings and improved efficiency. Designing and implementing a codification system involves several steps, from grouping items to assigning codes to ensuring easy computerization. Similarly, standardization for procedures and forms require careful analysis, development, communication, and ongoing monitoring and evaluation. So both processes are essential for effective materials management, ensuring accurate identification, efficient recording, and streamlined operations. Computerization further enhances this effectiveness of materials management by automating the process and enabling seamless integration of codification and standardization systems. Computers excel at handling codes and data, making them invaluable tools for managing materials in today's fast-paced business environment. With the right systems in place, organizations can also optimize their material management process, improving efficiency and reducing the cost. So you can say that in conclusion, the three processes, classification, codification, standardization, these are essential components of materials management because they provide the structure and framework which organizations need to effectively manage their materials, streamline their operations and achieve their business objectives. And by embracing these processes and leveraging the technology, organizations can enhance their competitiveness and drive success in today's dynamic marketplace. So I know it is a very long session, but thankfully this is the last unit, okay, waste management. I hope you are there with me still. You haven't dropped off. So this is the last session and we can wind off MMPC 9, right? So waste management. Waste management is not just about dealing with garbage, right? Though yes, it also deals with garbage, it is not just about that. It is a multidisciplinary endeavor which touches on engineering, economics, urban planning, management techniques, as well as social sciences. At its core, you can say waste management aims to minimize the wastivity, which is the undesirable output from a system encompassing all types of resources. So the ultimate goal here is to prevent waste generation altogether, advocating for a proactive approach to waste reduction. So to effectively manage this waste, a systematic approach becomes necessary, which addresses waste at all stages and all types of wastes. So this approach involves, this systematic approach, it involves recognizing wastivity as the ratio of net waste to total input. So of the total input, how much goes waste, right? That is wastivity. So if you get a question as to what is wastivity, you must know that wastivity is the ratio of net waste. Okay, so waste in the numerator to the total input. So input in the denominator. That is wastivity, a metric which is heavily influenced by recycling efforts. But reducing wastivity always does not necessarily mean increasing productivity. Just because you have reduced waste does not mean that you have increased production. Okay, they are complementary to each other, but they are totally two different concepts itself. Guidelines for waste collection, recycling, and disposal are essential components of this waste management strategy. These guidelines, along with the processing and disposal systems, provides a framework for efficient waste management practices. And by adopting a systems approach, organizations can minimize waste while maximizing resource utilization. Preventing waste generation is again paramount in our waste management, right? The best way to manage waste is not to generate it in the first place. So this preventive policy actually emphasizes minimizing the overall wastivity and promoting efficient resource use. Incentives for waste segregation, timely collection and recycling are also again critical for achieving zero waste goals. To reduce waste effectively, we need a systematic approach. So this approach will involve recognizing waste, identifying what caused this waste and planning corrective action and implementing these waste reduction measures. And designing appropriate collection systems and incentivizing waste segregation are again key steps in this process. Recycling plays a crucial role in waste reduction and resource conservation. Without recycling, finite resources will easily be depleted, right? Rapidly it will deplete. Encouraging recycling whenever it is possible will help conserve resources and minimize the environmental impact. Devising effective waste management system is again essential for several reasons. These systems minimize wastivity, promote recycling, reduce disposal efforts and conserve resources. They also help minimize environmental hazards associated with waste disposal and contribute to sustainable resource management. Introducing waste into traditional input-output models provides a more realistic representation of our real-life systems also. By incorporating wastivity into these models, resource balances can be defined more accurately, facilitating efficient resource utilization. Cost accounting for waste is another important aspect of our waste management. By accurately accounting for the cost of waste generation at the cost of waste disposal also, organizations can identify areas for waste reduction and thereby cost saving. It requires classifying the various waste types, determining the cost, allocating those costs to products or services that cost this waste. So in summary, effective waste management requires a multidisciplinary approach, which is proactive waste prevention policies, systematic waste reduction measures, and efficient recycling efforts. And by adopting these strategies and incorporating waste into decision-making models and cost accounting practices, our organizations can minimize waste, conserve resources, and promote sustainability. So, it was a long session, I know. I tried to keep it as brief as possible without missing out on any important concepts. That is why it was this long. Okay, so with that, we have covered all the major aspects of management of machines and materials. Yay! Give yourself a clap on the back. You've done it. Okay. So this is a very important subject. Jokes aside, this is a very important subject, especially for those who are taken operations or supply chain management as your area of specialization. So thank you so much for tuning into Anu's Classroom. I hope you did not feel that this stretch of time that you spent on Anu's Classroom was worthwhile. I hope you felt that this time that you gave to Anu's Classroom was worth it for you. I hope you have subscribed to the channel and you have enabled the notifications also. So let us catch up in the next session. Thank you so much. Take care. All the very best for your examinations.